closed captioning brought to you by Eggland's Best Eggs.
There's only one egg that just tastes better, with more vitamins and less saturated fat.
Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
The South is getting slammed with heavy rain this morning, even a chance of severe weather in the Florida Panhandle.
The same system left a big mess in Texas. The National Weather Service confirms 6 tornadoes touched down in the Houston area alone on Saturday.
The other part of the story in Texas, the flooding. Some places in eastern Texas and western Louisiana got up to 1.5 feet of rain. Thank you so much for staying with us on Weekend Recharge. I'm Maria LaRosa.
And I'm Paul Goodlow. This is what we're following right now at 1:30. And remember all the rain that moved to the southeast? Well, it didn't stop last night. In fact, heavy rain falling across parts of Louisiana. Check that out. A little Segway tour there on Bourbon Street this morning. Also getting inundated with heavy rain for the party goers for Halloween last night, and still seeing some rain and wet streets there. And this is just one of the top stories we're following this morning, Maria.
All right, so it's our way to get you recharged from the weekend and get you ready for the week ahead with our big stories that we're covering. And today, still about all the rain across the south and the southeast. Not just the severe threat, too, but that flash flooding threat. That's actually going to continue even into tomorrow. So we'll time it out for you so you can plan better your day. And the big warm up. Look at all the red pointing up arrows. Those are areas 5, 10, 15 degrees above average. That trend is going to continue into the week. We'll let you know how warm it's going to get. And the first big impactful storm that's hitting the Pacific Northwest. It's wind, it's rain, and even snow. So we'll talk about what's unfolding here over the next few hours as well. Paul?
Well, that's our next storm. What about our current storm? Well, here's what we know right now. There have been 6 deaths in connection with all the heavy rain that fell in Texas with this system. Flash flood watch is still up for areas of Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. The National Weather Service survey teams confirmed a half-dozen tornadoes around Houston alone, and there were other tornadoes reported in Louisiana and Mississippi. Dallas-Fort Worth had its second wettest October on record, and this is now the 6th wettest year for Dallas on record as well, and there's more rain in the forecast. We'll show you that coming up. But right now, we're concerned with what this system is doing across the rest of the southeast here. Our models have been picking up on this kind of swath of rain that kind of stretches from Montgomery to Birmingham to Atlanta into South Carolina, and we're starting to see the beginning of that now, passing by Biloxi and also pushing into the Mobile and Mobile Bay area as well. So we're going to track that, as well as more rain we're still seeing across southeastern Louisiana. We saw the wet streets there in New Orleans, and rain showers still popping up around Houston and Galveston and Texas City, trying to move across the Galveston Bay. So that's our upper level low. Once that moves on out, we should see an end to some of the rain there in Texas. But right now, we still have plenty of moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, and that is going to lead to more rain showers along and ahead of our warm front here. Upper level low still lagging back here as that pushes on through and finally clears out. We'll still have that chance of rain before that finally clears out. So as we head through today and tomorrow, the rain chances continue to increase here across the southeast, although we start seeing a drying trend as once we cross the Mississippi. So here's our timing. Again, starting this afternoon, there's this moisture coming in from the Gulf, moving across Mississippi, Alabama, into areas of northern Georgia, and we're still seeing some rain showers in East Texas with our upper level low system. And then by the afternoon, in nighttime hours into tomorrow morning, we're still watching some rain showers here heavy at times overnight, pre-dawn hours in northern Georgia, including you in Atlanta. So we are concerned with a concern for some heavy rain, and there's that swath of that heavy rain, 3 to 5 inches into Atlanta and also into the upstate of South Carolina as well. So definitely a concern, Maria, as we head over the next, say, 36 hours to see very heavy rain.
And, you know, timing is everything, right? So there's going to be a lot of times where this heavy rain is moving in at very inconvenient times, namely morning rush. So you see this big picture of where the rain and the thunderstorms will be tomorrow. Let's fine tune it for you and hit a couple of these points where you may be out on the road, or maybe your children have the practice practices that may be canceled because of it. We'll start at 6 a.m. tomorrow. We have Atlanta, Birmingham, east side of town, Montgomery, eventually moving into Columbus. You're seeing that heavy rain, and that is prime time commute time. And now it's the bus stop time. So they're going to need the heavy rain gear, and you're going to need a lot of patience even into the evening rush, because we still have some locally heavier showers, say along the I-20 corridor up 85 into southwestern northwestern South Carolina. That continues even in through the dinner hour. So that will be one of those trouble spots. Atlanta, it will be a mess here through the day with temps into the 60s, and the same for Charlotte. Now, this really has been a very wet weekend across the South. What about next weekend? Dr. Greg Postel is in the lab with more on that.
There's still a chance for rain in the south. Look at the maps for next Saturday. This will be November 7th, basically a week from now. And we're seeing, again, more rain in the south. But I think the difference between next weekend's rain, which might linger into Sunday as well, is that it's not going to be, I don't think, the extreme type of event that we've seen the last couple of days, and should move through relatively quickly, and an overall dry pattern ensuing across much of the central part of the country. So the weather pattern next weekend will be substantively different than what we've got now. And one of the reasons why, one of the signals you can pick up is the forecast data coming in from the jet stream. You run all the different simulations and you kind of get the same answer, that there are no big ridges or troughs that I don't think are going to set up next weekend. For example, next Saturday, what we're looking at is jet stream kind of moving through, wiggling their way through. Each one of those lines is a different forecast of the jet stream, and they all kind of have that flat-ish west to east flow. Some wiggles, but not big ones. No big ridges or troughs. That means no giant storms, I don't think. And what we'll end up seeing more than anything else probably is some cooler temperatures settle into the south with, in addition to the rain, maybe that little dip in the jet stream in the east might help bring some cooler air. But overall, this is the temperature pattern to expect next weekend. But I don't think it's going to last very long. As I mentioned, with that sort of more west to east flow in the jet stream, it should push it out pretty quickly. And then as we head toward the middle of the month, we're going to revert back to this warmer temperature theme in the eastern two-thirds of the country, with cooler temperatures in the west. That is going to be something to watch for the rest of the month. Maria and Paul, back to you.
All right, Dr. Greg, thank you.
Well, a foot or more of rain falling in parts of Texas over the last 48 hours, leading to widespread flooding of homes and businesses.
And, of course, cleanup ensues. So what's next? Before you call your insurance provider, we're going over your options and what you may not know about what's covered.
You can't predict the market, but at T. Rowe Price, we can help guide your investments through good times and bad. For over 75 years, our clients have relied on us to bring our best thinking to their investments. So in a variety of market conditions, you can feel confident in our experience. Call a T. Rowe Price retirement specialist or your advisor to see how we can help make the most of your retirement savings. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
We always were told we were German. We were in a German dance group. I wore lederhosen, so I just started poking around on Ancestry. Then I decided to have my DNA tested through Ancestry DNA. It turns out I'm Scottish, so I traded in my lederhosen for a kilt.
Once upon a time, there was a nice house that lived with a family. One day, it started to rain and rain. Water got inside and ruined everybody's everythings. The house thought she let the family down. But the family just didn't think a flood could ever happen.
The reality is, floods do happen. Protect what matters. Get flood insurance. Call 888-RAIN-383 to learn more.
I tried Depend last weekend. It really made the difference between a morning around the house and getting a little exercise.
Only Depend underwear has new Confidence Core technology for fast absorption and the smooth, comfortable fit of FitFlex protection. Get a coupon at Depend.com.
Pain from your day can haunt you at night. Don't let it. Advil PM gives you the healing sleep you need, helping you fall asleep and stay asleep so your body can heal as you rest. Advil PM for a healing night's sleep.
Lowe's presents How to Be Good at Math.
How much money do you think we saved today?
A lot.
Now get 10% off major appliances, $396 and more.
I asked my dentist if an electric toothbrush was going to clean better than a manual. He said sure, but don't get just any one. Get one inspired by dentists with a round brush head.
Go pro with Oral-B. Oral-B's rounded brush head cups your teeth to break up plaque and rotates to sweep it away. And Oral-B delivers a clinically proven superior clean versus Sonicare Diamond Clean.
My mouth feels super clean.
Oral-B. Know you're getting a superior clean.
I'm never going back to a manual brush.
You ever feel like you're spinning?
Like you're stuck in the same place in life? Just going round and round and round? Yeah, man. Been there.
No, actually spinning.
Oh, we can fix that by going to Midas. They have a great selection of tires. Sorry, Doug. I thought you were trying to get deep.
It's time to take a closer look at your tires. Get up to $160 back by mail on a set of 4 Goodyear, Cooper, and other select brands. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
Here's something new. Now you can get the Weather Channel forecast on the new LL Bean app. Just tap, shop, and discover. The new app from LL Bean, featuring forecasts from the Weather Channel. Download today. Currently in our area, 86 degrees under fair skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 85. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. We're talking about a lot of rain and flooding across Texas and the Gulf Coast states, and here's the reason why. Just the last 7 days, many areas picking up 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 to even 18 inches of rain, especially at Bullseye here in southeastern Texas, east of Houston. We picked up just in the last 24 hours more than a foot of rain in many locations, and now we're still seeing some rain out there as well. So it's a huge concern with more flooding possible. We've seen tons of video, homes, businesses, and lots of cars and trucks flooded because of this rain.
So we know a lot of people will be on the phone with their insurance adjusters first thing Monday morning to find answers, right?
And Lynn McChristian from the Insurance Information Institute spoke with us earlier to help us stay informed on what's covered and what's not covered, and also some other options.
Yeah, she tells us those affected might want to get on the phone today.
One thing I want to point out is no one has to wait until Monday to call their insurance company. They are there 24/7. They can call today, so they can get things working and get recovery. But auto insurance, if you have comprehensive, which about 77% of drivers have it, you're covered for flood.
Anything that people should be doing to their car, say they've managed to get it out of the floodwaters before calling their insurance company?
Well, it's very dangerous to take a car that has been flooded and try to do much to it. It depends on how much water is in it. But if you can try to dry it out, that's a good thing to do. Most of those cars will wind up being salvage vehicles because they won't be drivable. Water gets into the system and it can't really be fixed.
Now, from the cars to the homes, a typical homeowner's policy does not cover flood damage. Now, if you got separate flood protection for your house, that's great. So what happens if you do have that separate, if you don't have that separate flood insurance?
Well, if you don't have it, there may be state assistance available or there may be federal assistance available. But most of this money comes in the form of a grant or a loan. It is not designed to bring you back to the way you were before. So the only thing that does that is getting proper flood insurance.
Okay, Lynn, the magic question is, I'm watching at home. My house isn't flooded yet and hasn't yet. Do I need something like that? What makes that difference between the call of getting that extra coverage?
Well, you know, the rain comes without warning. You really need to think about flood insurance if it rains where you are. And most people in Texas and the Southeast know about that. You can call your insurance company or the National Flood Insurance Program to get that coverage, but it won't be automatic. It usually takes 30 days before it takes effect.
good to know.
Another quick question, just price-wise, what's the typical price? I haven't looked myself, but I hear it's a little pricey to get flood insurance.
Well, if you live in a low to moderate risk zone, the flood insurance costs maybe $430 a year, which is a good price to pay because it does flood in low to moderate risk zones. But the other prices are based on how close you are to the coast or rivers, so it does change, and you can find out exactly how much it would cost you by going to floodsmart.gov. Plug in your zip code, it will tell you the price, and you can find that out today.
Love it, love it. Lynn McChristian with the Insurance Information Institute. Appreciate all of that good information. May need some of that in the Pacific Northwest, where we're starting to see some flood warnings in for the big rivers in this area around Seattle. The Snoqualmie, one of those, seeing a warning right now. 50 degrees in Seattle right now, but you can see those higher elevations. You got blue and purple on the radar. That's indicating that snowfall, and it's coming down heavily in some spots through the day today and into later tonight. Tough travel, but a major system coming on. I mean, everything that comes along with that. High wind, high waves. Of course, you've got the snow in the higher elevations with the snow level coming down now to about 4,000 feet. The setup is there, right? We've got this onshore flow, plentiful moisture that our Tom Nizzle actually sent out an email saying, yeah, you can kind of connect some of that to Olaf. That was that tropical system out in the Pacific feeding into some of that. So pretty amazing. But it's all slamming right into the west, which is that good news, bad news, right? We need the rain, but it's a real mess out there. So watch your travel along some of the passes, which we have those winter storm warnings. Could be adding up in feet as far as snow. More rain and snow tonight, and look how it's pushing into the Great Basin, but also down into central and southern California with that mountain snow now into the Sierra Nevada mountains. Keep an eye on that. Again, those winter storm warnings have been posted, includes White Pass, Snoqualmie, Stevens Pass, and the Olympic Mountains. So plentiful moisture here in the Pacific Northwest, Paul.
And right on time, turning November. Hey, a cargo ship that went missing in a hurricane a month ago today may have been located 15,000 feet below the surface. More details next.
I've suffered for 18 years with dry, cracked hands.
In the winter in Chicago, it's dry, it's cold, makes my hands even worse.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry, cracked hands.
My hands feel better.
I finally found relief.
Learn more at o'keefescompany.com.
Have you tried O'Keefe's?
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service certified asthma and allergy friendly. It's our new standard of clean. Call about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
I take Prilosec OTC each morning for my frequent heartburn. Because you can't beat zero heartburn. Ah, the sweet taste of victory.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill each morning, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
At night, the road plays games. It runs away and hides. And so we simply end this game of hide and seek with strong, bright Sylvania headlights. Sylvania Silver Star Ultra for everything ahead of you.
Welcome to the sleep revolution. All new Emergen Z, a natural way to power down with melatonin plus vitamin C and other antioxidants to work their magic while you sleep. Don't just sleep, revitalize. New Emergen Z, power down to power up.
Before you put any engine to bed this winter, don't drain the fuel tank. Top it off with Stayville Storage. It keeps fuel fresh. So come spring, your power equipment is ready to go. And your hog won't be a bore.
Here's something new. Now you can get the Weather Channel forecast on the new LL Bean app. Just tap, shop, and discover. The new app from LL Bean, featuring forecasts from the Weather Channel. Download today.
I don't know what that was.
It felt huge. Don't move, man.
Life's busy, but you can stay connected to family and friends with Xfinity Voice. Create up to 4 additional phone numbers to enjoy unlimited nationwide talk and text anywhere you go. Plus, with features like readable voicemail and caller ID across your smartphone, tablet, even TV, you'll never miss an important message. Life's busy, and the old phone company can't keep up. So switch and save with Xfinity Voice. Just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call or go online today.
We live in a pick-and-choose world. Love or like, naughty or nice, calm or bright. But at bedtime, why settle for this? Enter Sleep Number. Don't miss the semi-annual sale going on now. Sleep IQ technology tells you how you slept and what adjustments you can make. She likes to bed soft. He's more hardcore. So your sleep goes from good to great to wow. Gift the best sleep of your life to your whole family. Only at a Sleep Number store. Right now, save $500 on the Veterans Day Special Edition mattress with Sleep IQ technology. No better sleep with Sleep Number.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under fair skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 85. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny, high 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
The wreckage of a cargo ship that went missing during Hurricane Joaquin last month may have been found. Sonar equipment on a Navy ship detected what are believed to be images of the El Faro yesterday afternoon near its last known position. A remotely operated vehicle will be sent down to survey the wreckage. The El Faro was headed to Puerto Rico from Jacksonville, Florida, but it lost contact as it sailed towards Hurricane Joaquin 1 month ago. And now again, the possible wreckage could have been spotted 15,000 feet below the surface. Maria?
All right, Paul, thank you. It's now about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. Time for your tropical update. And right now, close to home, not much to mention, and that's okay, right? We've got quiet Eastern Pacific. We have a quiet Caribbean and Atlantic. But the Arabian Sea is where we're seeing a nasty, nasty cyclone. That's what they call a hurricane in this part of the world. Actually, cyclonic storm is the official term. Chapala right now, nasty 120-mile-per-hour maximum winds. And you see with the satellite view how it's strengthened a bit because it's very symmetric. You have a very well-defined eye. The forecast continues to take it towards Yemen as we get from Monday into Tuesday as a cyclonic storm. So some weakening, but the threat for a country like Yemen is very, very high because of the rainfall that we're expecting this storm to bring on shore, maybe as much as 5 to 8 inches in some spots. And to put in perspective for you, this is in some cases a year's worth of rain. And in a desert area, what they're fearing is that there may be things like, of course, the flash flooding, but the devastation just from the rain part of this system could be very, very bad here. And again, the time frame is going to be Monday into Tuesday.
Definitely could be a big international story there.
Very much so.
Here back at home, the big story is fall, and take a live look right now at Plymouth, New Hampshire, on the campus of Plymouth State University, just north of Concord, New Hampshire. You can see there the beautiful reds and oranges in full bloom, although some trees without leaves at this stage.
I'm calling this past peak pretty. It's still pretty. It's still gorgeous. You have that quintessential New England vibe. And really that's the case across New England, even as you get into the lower Hudson Valley. We're starting to get into that past peak, but still some beautiful color in the east.
Yeah, depending on how this past week's weather went, I was just there last week, there's still gorgeous color to be found, so don't let this map stop your trips up there. It is gorgeous. Take a look at this picture from Brockport, New York, also showing the golden colors and the ambers. It's a beautiful sight there, and also love the leaves that have fallen on the ground too.
Yeah,
just adds the
fresh ground cover.
Picture.
And we've got Trumansburg, New York, looking equally gorgeous. But you know what? The southeast, you're looking pretty too. We're nearing that peak color and starting to see it beautifully in the North Georgia mountains, eastern Tennessee.
Yeah, you got to remember, Georgia, foothills of the Appalachians, so you do have hills, you have mountains, and you have beautiful color like this in the fall. We're back after this quick break.
I love you. Love you too.
One minute. Hi. We need to do this, yes. Be good.
Bye.
Letting go.
Don't say a word.
It's a little easier when you've saved for college with State Farm.
I tried Depend last weekend. It really made the difference between a morning around the house and getting a little exercise.
Only Depend underwear has new Confidence Core technology for fast absorption and the smooth, comfortable fit of FitFlex protection. Get a coupon at depend.com.
You can check on them. You can worry about them. You can even choose a car for them.
Honey, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Love.
We're okay.
It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
When a moment spontaneously turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? And why stop what you're doing to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is the only daily tablet approved to treat erectile dysfunction, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. Plus, Cialis treats the frustrating urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use. Insurance coverage has expanded nationally, and you may now be covered. Contact your health plan for the latest information.
How to make an awesome weather science show. Take 3 scientists. That's us. The scientists. Yeah. They know that. Add the forces of nature.
That's hot stuff.
Mix in some crazy experiments.
Lit my hand on fire.
Why?
Because it's science. Oh, that is so cool.
And then...
Go! Who said science isn't fun?
3 scientists walk into a bar. Bottoms Up Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel. And join the community now on Facebook.com/3scientists.
It is Sunday. Time for some football and big-time grudge match going on this afternoon in Pittsburgh as the Steelers are hosting the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals, and the NFL Network's Didi Kinkhabwala is at Heinz Field with a look at the weather conditions.
The rain stopped here in Pittsburgh, and in fact the sun is peeking through. It's expected to be clear and temperatures should rise into the lower 60s. Now the undefeated Cincinnati Bengals come in here to town led by Andy Dalton. He leads the NFL in QB rating, but it's the quarterback on the other side, Ben Roethlisberger, who's making the news today. He returns after a 4-game absence with a knee issue. He said this week he shouldn't be limited in any way. For the Weather Channel, Aditi Kinkhabwala, NFL Network.
Here's the forecast for Pittsburgh. Again, no rain, but some clouds giving way to some sunshine this afternoon. Look at the winds, though. At times, 10 to 15 miles per hour. That will have an impact on this game. Other games going on this afternoon. Into Baltimore, we got the 2-5 Chargers going into the 1-6 Ravens. What happened, Ravens? Weather also, some clouds giving way to a few peaks of sunshine. Temperatures topping out in the upper 60s there this afternoon. And out towards the West Coast, we go to Oakland. Plenty of sunshine here. Enjoy it, because you'll see some rain on the West Coast coming up at the O.Co Coliseum. The Jets taking on the 3-3 Oakland Raiders. Then tonight, a battle of 2 undefeated teams. The Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, 6-0, coming in to go see Peyton Omaha Manning, 6-0 Denver Broncos, and beautiful weather here at the Mile High. Talking about temperatures topping out in the almost to 70 for the high, and then falling to the 60s and 50s as we head on towards the rest of the game. And then also Monday night's game, rain and weather could be an impact as the 6-0 Panthers host the Colts with some rain showers to start the game, then some clouds later on, and temperatures falling to the upper 50s. But it's not just NFL we're worried about. It's fall, so the Fall Classic, the World Series going on. Royals have a 3-1 lead over the Mets.
I know, and you know, we're both New York area natives. My family's divided between Yanks and Mets, so I'm hoping the Mets stay in it. But I'll tell you what, Royals looking pretty good, and weather-wise, no problems in Flushing. You've got might need cloudy skies and temps staying near 60 during the game.
Yeah, not a big fall push of air there yet at all, but I know the Mets have to push this to a Game 6, otherwise this could be it. Perhaps they're playing golf tomorrow if we don't get this done tonight.
See, to me that sounds like a win-win. But good luck to both teams, and hope everyone's doing well with that New York City Marathon underway. But that does it for us for this marathon.
Hey, stay tuned. Weather Geeks coming up right now.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under fair skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 85. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And welcome to Weather Geeks. I'm Dr. Marshall Shepard from the University of Georgia, and today we're going to talk about IMET. And you might be saying, what is an IMET? Well, I'm here with someone that'll be able to tell us. We're talking with Heath Hockenberry. Now, you are the Fire Weather Program Manager for the National Weather Service and also spent some time as an IMET. So let's just get right into it. What is an IMET? I assume it means incident meteorologist, but I bet people don't know what that is.
Well, the key word is incident. We do respond to incidents like fire, non-fire. So what we do is we embed ourselves right there with the incident management teams. Hence we get our name, Incident Management, from that. And when we go there, we serve as a really strong and integral part of the incident management team.
Right. Now, how do you become an IMET? I mean, people probably, I know for me, when I tell people I'm a meteorologist, they think I'm either on TV pointing at a board or they ask me the weather tomorrow. But I bet they don't know what an IMET does. So how do you become an IMET and what does it involve? Tell us.
It's a lot of training.
Yeah.
We put in about 250 hours of extra training on top of our regular forecast duties, and a lot of that is in communication, it's in equipment use, it's in grabbing those tools that we need to perform successfully out on an incident. So to become an IMET, you got to be a volunteer, you got to like to camp, and you gotta like to be able to use the equipment.
Okay, so that Boy Scout or Girl Scout training coming into handy now. Now who do you serve? Who are your customers as an IMET?
We have a lot of federal customers. We've got the Bureau of Land Management, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the U.S. Forest Service, the Park System. We have a lot of states as well that play really heavily, especially in the West, California, Oregon, Washington, and Texas is emerging as a key partner too.
Yeah, and a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about some of the meteorology of what you guys look for when you're out there doing your job. But I want to kind of bore a little bit more into sort of what happens. So you're an IMET. There's a wildfire out in the West. I know your station are based in Boise, Idaho. Walk us through kind of what happens as you get deployed and sort of then what happens next, A, B, and C in terms of your deployment.
Well, IMET's bags are always packed. Okay. I mean, that's the first key point. So when we get a call, we usually like to be there within a day. But most of the time, we're there within about 12 hours of the call. Okay. We get ordered up. We either fly or we drive, and we get there and we hit the ground running. We have an idea what the forecast is going to be, so we can brief the incident management team instantly on what the weather conditions are going to be.
Now, as a, I assume that all IMETs are degreed meteorologists, have background in meteorology. But I suspect there are some other skill sets that you look for as well. And also, as a forecaster, are there any particular sort of traits or attributes you look for to be an IMET?
Yeah, you like to camp.
Yeah, you did
like
mention that, sure.
You like to be outdoors.
Yeah.
You like to be a single resource on a team.
Right.
It's kind of like being that field goal kicker on a football team.
But from a meteorological perspective, though, I mean, are you looking for people that have more of an interest in mesoscale meteorology or micro, just sort of things at a smaller scale, or does it matter?
Yeah, micro scale is key. We have conceptual models of how winds behave in topography, how the fire can control the environment, those types of meteorological nuances. Because fire weather forecasting is all about the subtleties, and that happens in the micro scale.
Yeah, and again, we're throwing around the term fire weather. Just in general, I think people may know what that means, but when you say fire weather, I mean, what are the nuances and ins and outs of what you mean by that?
It's wind, it's humidity, it's temperature, and how it all relates to fire behavior. You have to have that in the back of your mind all the time. How is my meteorology going to influence how the fire's behaving today, tomorrow, and the next 7 days?
Now, let's say I'm one of your customers, one of your stakeholders that you're meeting with. I mean, you're sitting there, I'm looking at a fire coming in on a populated area or whatnot. I mean, what is your briefing like? What are you saying to me in the first 5 minutes of that briefing?
Well, we make our impact in about the first 30 seconds of what we say.
30 seconds? Okay, well then give me the 30 seconds then.
Well, the 30 seconds is today we have relative humidities dipping down into the single digits. We have winds that are going to pick up after 1,300 hours when the inversion breaks. When that inversion breaks, expect your fire behavior to pick up. And we also talk about any thunderstorm or lightning potential, because it's not only the fire that you're on, it's the fires that can happen around you.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that in our next segment after the break, we're going to get into that. But I want to make sure our Weather Geeks viewers know inversion is an area of the atmosphere where the temperature is warming as you go up, and that tends to create stability. Talk a little bit about how stability affects what you're trying to do out there and why you're watching for it to break and whatnot.
Stability really sets in overnight. You get the smoke trapped in, and the fires really die down. But when you get that heat on the fire, when the sun comes out, the instability kicks in, and all of a sudden you see these plumes go up. And when the plumes go up, they can create their own weather. So those inversions are critical.
Now, I think for many people, this may be an enlightening episode. I think it is for me. How many IMETs are in the National Weather Service?
We have about 83 volunteers, plus or minus about 5 people.
And now I want to make sure when you say volunteers, these are meteorologists that may be staffed in other areas, but then they volunteer their services as an IMET in the same way that someone may volunteer their services in other capacities. But they do have day jobs as meteorologists, right?
Exactly. They're forecasters. They work in the aviation, the marine, but they also like the fire weather very much. So they like to do those things I mentioned before, and they stick their hands up and say, I would like to be an IMET.
Yeah, and now, out of the 365 days a year, I mean, what percentage of the time as an IMET? You've been an IMET in Blacksburg. I think you even though you're sort of the head of the program now within the Weather Service, you've been deployed. You get deployed still.
Yes.
How much of a year do you get out there, or a typical IMET?
The typical IMET can take as many as 2 or 3 assignments. I think most do 1 a year, but those assignments last about 14 days. And there are rules governing how many days you can be out on a fire because of the fatigue that can set in. You're breathing in smoke and all that junk, and the heat, it can get to you really quick.
And that was actually one of the things I wanted to ask you. What's kind of a worst case scenario for an IMET? And I mean, I'm sure it's a dangerous situation, but sort of what's the worst case scenario for you?
The worst case scenario is probably the urban interface fires, the ones that really burn close to residential areas where every decision is critical, the pressure is high, and you really care about the people that are in those communities. Even though you don't live there, you know how that's going to affect them.
Yeah, we're going to get more into the weather after the break here. Next on Weather Geeks, we're going to talk about what are the meteorological parameters that IMETs look for. And we're going to get into that next, but our Geek of the Week first.
This week's Geek of the Week is longtime weather observer Mr. Willis Swint. Mr. Swint is a recent recipient of the National Weather Service's prestigious Thomas Jefferson Award, which is the highest honor given to no more than 5 cooperative weather observers each year across the country. The award is named for Thomas Jefferson, who maintained an almost unbroken series of weather observations from 1776 to 1816. But Mr. Swint has been submitting his weather observations to the National Weather Service since October 1st, 1956. No way! More than 56 years. How about that? A job well done, Mr. Willis Swint, our Geek of the Week.
True luxury is not just a heated leather seat or refined chrome accents. It's the places it will take you. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most luxurious vehicle in its class. Get 0% APR financing on the 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee for well-qualified buyers, plus $500 Jeep Celebration bonus cash. The most awarded, rewarding SUV ever.
You tuck here, you tuck there. If you're a toe tucker because of toenail fungus, ask your doctor now about prescription Keratin. Use daily Keratin drops may kill the fungus at the site of infection and get to the root of your toe tucking. Keratin may cause irritation at the treated site. Most common side effects include skin peeling, ingrown toenail, redness, itching, and swelling. Tell your doctor if you have any side effect that bothers you or does not go away. Stop toe tucking and get the drop on toenail fungus. Ask your doctor today about Keratin.
Sit. Sit.
More sit per roll. Bounty is 2 times more absorbent. So 1 roll of Bounty can last longer than those bargain brands. So you get more life per roll. Bounty, the long-lasting, quicker picker-upper.
Thursdays on the Weather Channel. When nature is this dangerous, only one question matters. Oh my God! So you think you'd survive? Thursdays at 10, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under fair skies. Today, partly cloudy, high 85. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, a few clouds early, otherwise mostly sunny, high 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Very intense right now.
Oh my God.
Let's black down.
This is so cool.
There's only one egg that gives you better taste and better nutrition in so many varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Only Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Remember the hassle of vacuuming? Before, the Dyson V6 Motorhead Cleaner gave you powerful suction and standout performance without the hassle of a cord.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
And we are back on Weather Geeks, and I'm talking with Heath Hockenberry. He's the National Weather Service's top guy for the fire weather program, and learning a lot about IMETs today. Now, why do we want to have a meteorologist on the ground from a weather perspective for a major fire, a fire in the west or anywhere in the east and Blacksburg? Why do we need you right there?
The IMET, or the meteorologist, being right there with the team. We deliver warnings right away.
Okay.
We do briefings live. We can consult directly with the incident command teams. We're embedded into that team structure.
Right.
So we really serve as the weather authority on that fire for the time that we're there.
Now, talk to us about the meteorology of that moment, of that environment. I mean, I know wind is a big issue for you, and you've mentioned some of those things, but what's the challenge there, particularly with wind?
The challenge is wind and terrain.
Right.
It's all about wind. We can do relative humidity very well. We get that dryness there. We assess the fuels, the things that are going to burn. but the winds and complex terrain are the real bear.
Yeah, and how are you getting that information in real time? Because wind can be tricky. It can shift direction or speed in moments' notice.
That's right. We apply conceptual models, and those models are ideas we have already about how wind works in terrain.
Sure.
Upslope during the day, downslope at night.
Yes, basic sea breeze type circulations, direct and indirect circulations, except you're in an upslope and downslope, right?
Yep. Gravity, density, sun angle, all those types of things come into play. So we have those in the back of our mind.
Talk about, you alluded to this in the first block, but you talk about wind and humidity and dryness. Well, the basic role of the sun or the diurnal cycle, what's going on there?
Yeah, that's why the summer fire season is so intense, because we have long duration sun. As soon as we hit that September time frame and the days start shrinking down, it kind of spells doom for the fires that are out there, because you don't get as much heat or insulation. It's like what we say.
Absolutely, yeah. We love that on Weather Geeks. Don't worry about the words. So what about the feedback? Do you interact with your sort of stakeholders? It's not always one way, is that right?
That's right. Every day we have to interact with the crews that are coming down off the mountain, wherever they're fighting the fire. We talk to them about how our forecast worked or didn't work. It's one of the rewarding parts, as well as the validation that we get for the wind forecast that we put out.
Yeah, I'm going to take a little detour here. What is this going on behind us? We've got a great backdrop here in the studio. Yeah, I guess that's one of the tankers. Now, is that some kind of chemical retardant? Or?
Yeah, that's our crust pistachios, I would say. No, it's really not made up of that.
For those of you under the age of 30, pistachios used to have red dye on it, but now they're just natural.
I'm giving my age
away
me
here.
Too. Yeah, but that is used to support the fire operations, to really suppress large portions of fire line. It's brought in when the firestorms get really intense, and you have to disengage sometimes from the fire as firefighters, because the flames are just too hot.
Right.
You got to bring in the air resources.
Now, one more question. You got about 30 seconds left in this segment, but you were saying, I know that you used to use these communication satellites and portable dish, but you were saying now you use cell phones when you're out there. The service is good enough out there in some of those regions?
We've downsized. We've gone to smart technology. They can act as our phones, our mobile broadband connections. So we're getting smaller and more efficient.
Right. So that makes sense to me. Now, other tools other than the phones that you haven't mentioned, what else do you have in your toolkit? 10 seconds.
We have kestrels and old-fashioned weather slings. We actually...
Explain what you mean by kestrel, because I have a kestrel in my office, but some of the Geeks viewers may not know what that means.
A kestrel is a handheld device that lets you measure sensible weather parameters right there on the spot.
All right. Well, we're going to, Joe, when we come back, Weather Geeks, stick around, because we're going to talk about pyrocumulonimbus. You will not want to miss this. Next, after that break, stick around. You don't want to miss this. Pyrocumulonimbus.
It's more than a network and the cloud. It's reliable uptime and multi-layered security. It's how you stay connected to each other and to your customers. With CenturyLink, you get advanced technology solutions, including an industry-leading broadband network and cloud and hosting services, all with dedicated, responsive support. With CenturyLink as your trusted technology partner, you're free to focus on growing your business. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
We've worked pretty hard to become the world's largest independent refiner and to be America's third largest producer of renewable fuels. But we've also worked hard to be named one of Fortune's most admired companies by giving over 125,000 volunteer hours a year, donating over 1 million pounds of food to local food banks, and building homes for Habitat for Humanity. To appreciate a company's true value, you have to understand the heart of its people.
Tonight we come to let loose. Tonight we come to dance. Tonight we change things.
Freedom. I asked my dentist if an electric toothbrush was going to clean better than a manual. He said sure, but don't get just anyone. Get one inspired by dentists with a round brush head.
Go pro with Oral-B. Oral-B's rounded brush head cups your teeth to break up plaque and rotates to sweep it away. And Oral-B delivers a clinically proven superior clean versus Sonicare Diamond Clean.
My mouth feels super clean.
Oral-B. Know you're getting a superior clean.
I'm never going back to a manual brush.
What's the word on Weather Underground?
Drum roll.
The weather geeks have weighed in and boom. They geekin' love it.
Weather Underground, my friend. Hopefully you learned something with that.
I'm a weather geek for life.
Join in on the fun. Weather Underground Geek Night.
It's not a team without t-shirts.
Custom Ink t-shirts have this incredible power to bring people together. We're helping people create shirts they'll love for their groups and occasions. Online, anytime, with Custom Ink.
We bring all kinds of people together. Families, reunions, school groups, teams, companies big and small.
And we're proud to say that Custom Ink has created over 60 million custom shirts.
Thanks, Custom Ink.
Our website makes it super easy to create custom tees. Just choose a style, a color that's perfect, and start designing. Our design lab has tons of fonts and amazing artwork.
Custom Ink really helps my business look professional, and uploading my logo was easy.
The t-shirts are a hit. Everyone loves them. So what's your next event or gathering? Order one shirt or thousands at customink.com. Start today. Free shipping and on-time delivery are guaranteed.
Thanks, Custom Ink.
2194.
Weekdays on AMHQ. I want to make sure everybody can get an idea of what's happening here. Let's talk about that. Let's lift the base of this. You're about to see something you have never seen on television before.
How to make an awesome weather science show. Take 3 scientists.
That's us.
The scientists.
Yeah.
They know that. Add the forces of nature.
That's hot stuff.
Mix in some crazy experiments.
Lit my hand on fire.
Why?
Because of science.
Oh, that is so cool.
And then...
Who said science isn't fun?
3 scientists walk into a bar. Bottoms Up Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel. And join the community now on Facebook.com/3scientists.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, sunshine along with some cloudy intervals. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And we are back on Weather Geeks. I'm going to talk about something very interesting now called pyrocumulus clouds, or pyro-Q as we talk about in the weather world. What are pyrocumulonimbus or pyrocumulus? I keep wanting to say cumulonimbus because I know some of these can actually produce lightning and thunder.
Yeah, pyro-Q form when you have that instability in place. You have a ton of heat over the fire.
Right.
And normally on a clear day without the heat of the fire, you wouldn't get that vertical development.
Yeah, I think we have a graphic that we're going to put up now explaining what's going on here. So just kind of walk us through what we're seeing here.
Yeah, we've got a normal fire burning in underbrush and some grass there, but as the fire grows in intensity and you get a lot more heat, you start fueling and energizing the column and destabilizing things where you have those temperatures that are really hot rising up compared to the surrounding areas.
Exactly.
And then you entrain all that hot air in and the cool air flows down. You can have the pyro-Q collapse, which is a very dangerous situation.
Now let's talk about that because these pyro-Q can actually impact the fire. How so? I guess it's the downdraft and the spreading of the...
Correct. It's the same mechanism as a thunderstorm.
Sure.
If it loses a little bit of energy and it throws out those winds and collapses, a fire which is being drawn into the center will now quickly spread out.
That makes sense. Now, talk about plume dominant days. Now that's a new term to me, so I'm learning something today, Weather Geeks as well. Why do you care about plume dominant days as an IMET?
It's a battle out there in the atmosphere. We have the prevailing winds, which are trying to push the storm over, and we also have the uplifting or rising air in the middle. So when something is plume dominated, the free air winds or the winds blowing across the top aren't strong enough to compensate for that heat flowing into the storm.
So that's actually a product that you as fire mets would look for on a given day.
Yeah, we would look for the ability for the plume or the fire to generate its own weather.
Now I want to pivot here because on Weather Geeks, one of the prevailing themes in the show has been communication of hazards and weather. Now you issue red flag warnings, or red flag warnings are issued. Now I think to many in the public, particularly not in the West, they may not know what that means. But it's not necessarily a warning that's meant for the public, or is it?
Yeah, it's originally and still is designed for fire management. What we're doing is alerting fire managers to extreme fire behavior.
Right.
And for allowing them to staff appropriately, apply the tactics that they need for the day safely.
And now, are the criteria consistent for these red flag warnings, and how do you verify them?
No, they're not consistent. They're generated from the ground up, so local forest units or states actually get together and talk about these criteria, and so we kind of allow that flexibility. So there are many, many different combinations which make up a red flag warning.
And what's the origin of red flag warning? I'm just curious.
Red flags were actually real flags that started in California that would alert the local area who saw the flags flying that this was a bad weather day.
That makes sense. Now, fire weather is currently handled, as I understand it, within NOAA out of the Storm Prediction Center, or SPC, is that right? I mean, why don't we have a fire weather center the way we have a hurricane center or an aviation weather center? Should we have that, or is that something that we should be thinking about as a community?
It would be handy and advantageous, but where we'd like to take this is a whole fire environment concept where we treat the fuels and the weather and the geography and all those pieces of the puzzle and kind of integrate them into one. So it would be handy, but we do pretty good with the tools that we have now.
Absolutely, and we thank you guys for your service, and ladies as well. Is there, in the last 20 seconds or so, anything else you would love to have if you had a crystal ball that you could, in the iMet, what would you need?
Oh, wow. You know, I would think more observations.
Yeah.
Observations are always key, and we're attempting to do that by launching weather balloons up into close to the fire as well.
Okay, so you're doing that in the real environment.
Yeah. So the more observations, the more things we can see, and to be able to communicate that would be my dream.
And thank you so much for joining us. That's where we have to end it. And Weather Geeks viewers, remember we're on Twitter at WXGeeksTWC, and we're also on Facebook. See you next week.
This program brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. See car insurance in a whole new light.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do? Drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
It's your thing. See results in just 1 week with Slim Fast. Shake it off. Blend it off. Just take it off and keep it off. Rich, protein-packed Slim Fast controls hunger up to 4 hours. Slim Fast. It's your thing.
Today we're going to talk about trucks.
Works for me.
Which truck brand do you think offers best-in-class HD towing?
Ford. I would say the Ram.
Okay, let's move to the second door. Best V8 horsepower.
The Ram. I say Ford on the V8. Chevy.
What about this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year?
Chevy.
What do you think?
The Ford.
The Ford?
There's no reason why they shouldn't be.
Let's see how you did. That's the Chevy Silverado HD, the Chevy Silverado, and the Chevy Colorado.
No way. Chevy.
Wow.
That's a clean sweep.
I take Prilosec OTC each morning for my frequent heartburn, because you can't beat zero heartburn. Ah, the sweet taste of it.
Prilosec OTC, 1 pill each morning, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
Meet Michelle, mother of 2.
When she battled cancer, she needed support in ways she'd never imagined.
When I started chemo treatments, I decided to shave my head. When I came home, my 3-year-old was here and she was scared. She said, "I only love Daddy. I don't love you anymore." And I was devastated. The next day, I called American Cancer Society. I spoke to some really wonderful woman on the phone, and even though she didn't know me, she made it seem like I've known her forever. And that made a world of difference to me.
Your donation of just $19 a month could help support services like the American Cancer Society's round-the-clock lifeline. We're here day or night with information about local resources, clinical trials, health insurance assistance, or just a compassionate ear. No one touched by cancer should feel alone. Your donation of $19 a month can help mothers like Michelle get the support they desperately need. Call 1-800-494-HELP to donate today.
How to make an awesome weather science show. Take 3 scientists. That's us. The scientists. Yeah. They know that. Add the forces of nature.
Woo, that's hot stuff.
Mix in some crazy experiments.
Lit my hand on fire.
Why?
Because of science.
Oh, that is so cool. And then...
Go! Who said science isn't fun?
3 scientists walk into a bar. Bottoms Up Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel. And join the community now on Facebook.com/3scientists.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under fair skies. Today, sunny, high 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear skies, low 75. Winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, sunshine along with some cloudy intervals. High 86. Winds southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thursdays, the Weather Channel drops you into a new season of nature's worst-case scenarios and asks, so you think you'd survive?
It's coming toward us.
The hit original series is back to put your survival skills to the test.
Could be the last mistake you make.
Oh my God! So You Think You'd Survive, all new Thursdays at 10, only on the Weather Channel.
I don't know what that was.
It felt huge. Don't move, man.
I'm Mike Bettis. That's Sarah. Welcome to the set of a brand new show, Weather Underground. There'll be experts, bloggers, the smartest weather minds in the business on every screen you have 24 hours a day. Geeking out on what's happening in weather, how it happens, and why it's so freaking cool.
Weather Underground, weeknights at 6 on the Weather Channel.
Now,
big experience, big change.
An unprecedented look.
It's a sad thing.
At an American emergency.
There was never a debate.
The winters are not as cold or as long.
Happening right here.
What's going on now on the planet?
Whoa! Why are these people about to lose their homes?
That's how we survive in the Arctic.
Copy, thanks for the info, Brett.
What has lit more wildfires than ever before?
A lot of different weather patterns that I've noticed.
How are these homes sinking into the ground?
Right now, we're about 70 feet below the surface.
We go underground and above. Alaska, state of emergency. Here's Dave Malkoff.
Welcome to Alaska, America's majestic last frontier. But you could just as easily call it the climate change state. The evidence is all around us. To start our storytelling, we're going to get you on a bush plane and take you north of the Arctic Circle.
Welcome aboard
to a community on the brink.
This Cessna Grand Caravan has many safety features on board.
While our puddle jumper is relatively safe, that island down there called Kivalina no longer is. Winter storms are literally eating the village alive. Crashing ocean waves are eroding the island, once protected by huge chunks of sea ice.
It's like a buffer. Whoa! And now it's into the winters where we get rain in January. When it used to be minus 30, minus 40, minus 50.
The 400 people of Kivalina could soon become America's first climate change refugees.
Basically, that is what we would be. Refugees.
Meet Colleen Swan. In recent years, she's become kind of the voice of Kivalina.
Kivalina is on the northwest coast of Alaska, above the Arctic Circle.
This tiny village is home to about 400 native Alaskans.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me if everyone were related in this village.
The kids and their parents live off the land, very much like their ancestors did.
That's how we survive in the Arctic. You eat what survives up here.
But now, as tall waves can blow ice-cold water clear across the island, their lives are changing here. As politicians in Washington debate if climate change is real, here in Kivalina,
there was never a debate. You know, we just saw these changes happening, and
it's a sad thing.
Colleen's dad has lived here for 80 years. His hunting grounds used to be out there on the solid blocks of ice during the winter.
Bearded seal, whale,
mukduck, fish.
Muck duck,
belugas,
or beluga is hard to come by these days. The people in Kivalina believe changing climate and noise from a nearby mine has changed their migratory pattern.
Everything is gone. The ocean is empty like.
As recently as the 1970s and 80s, village elders remember the winter Arctic sea ice growing to 10 feet in thickness. But this past year, it came down to 3 feet. Not thick enough to hunt on and not thick enough to protect the village either.
The climate change has caused so much problem.
But it's not just the village elders saying that. It's actually the federal government. A congressional audit and the Army Corps of Engineers have identified 4 Alaskan villages in dire need of immediate relocation. They specifically say climate change is the problem here and have started to spend millions to protect this place.
The Corps sent the big super sacks.
These rock boxes were Kivalina Protection version 1.0, but the storms were still too powerful.
And it was because the ice was not there. We used that until the Corps was able to come in with this rock that came from Nome.
For now, the big rock wall is holding, just barely. The plan is actually to move the entire ancient community.
Our Eskimo dancing, you know, the spirituality is tied to our subsistence lifestyle.
Everybody needs to move off the island.
We have to keep our lifestyle alive.
Kivalina village is the only one without running water.
Lucy Adams is also in her 80s, but almost every day, when it's warm enough, her son takes her out on an hour-long motorboat ride to this stunning field of green, spongy tundra, where the wild berries grow.
Yeah, they're ripe now. They're ready to eat.
Lucy and her son pick blueberries and these things called salmon berries, while the kids go off and look for animals to hunt.
A bamboo, female.